This is the College Football Connection Podcast with Alvin Reed, Bradford Bruns, and Marty Jenkins on 101 ESPN.
Those pro days slowly but surely winding their way toward the finish line across the land. How's it going, everybody? Bradford Bruns back with you on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel, plus 101ESPN.com. It is the brand new episode of the College Football Connection. What with, as we said, those pro days across campuses everywhere starting to nudge toward a conclusion. And then you have the spring days beginning to wind down as well, not to mention the NFL draft, the ever-present specter of that spectacle. Oh, yeah, just a mere month from now, taking place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. However, for the purpose of today's installment, we would be remiss if we didn't start in our own backyard, or at least 2-ish hours away in mid-Missouri. So last Friday, March the 21st, the University of Missouri-Columbia did indeed stage its annual Pro Day festivities in the AM hours. You had the usual suspects. Of course, they were present. Brady Cook, Theo Weiss Jr., Luther Burden III, and Armand Mimbu. But whereas those guys, especially a Cook, who only threw to a few different receivers, both past and present, yes, that exciting incoming crop of Tigers wideouts, they helped as well. LB3 actually sat out entirely, as did the fast-rising Mimbu and Weiss Jr. No, rather, this was more of a showcase opportunity for the guys who didn't net those invites to the Combine recently in Indianapolis, okay? Only 329 invitations went out, and somewhat surprisingly, somebody like a Johnny Walker Jr. did not receive one of said invites. He, though, along with Marcus Carroll, Nate Noel, Christian Williams, Joseph Charleston, so many individuals who were responsible for shepherding the Tigers to another double-digit win campaign in 2024. They were on display. It was their moment to shine, if you will, collectively, for the gaggle of NFL talent evaluators and scouts on the scene in Columbia. I'll be up front. I had aspirations initially of being able to attend and cover said event, but ultimately the NCAA tournament obligations on 101 ESPN, as well as a number of different remotes we had. Hopefully you were able to go out and about first 2 days of March Madness action. They kept me in the studio. When you parse through some of the information, though, and the reports after the fact, candidly, I expected a bit of a sharper time than the one that was posted by Walker Jr. in the 40-yard dash. Now, 4.79 is nothing at which to sneeze for a D lineman. And one aspect to this, one different component of it, is that you're talking about straight line speed here, okay? And when you get to the next level, and Walker Jr. still, in my mind, definitely projects as somebody who can contribute as an edge rusher in the NFL. Maybe he's a day 3 pick. Maybe he has to work his way onto a roster via a camp invite. That's not something that you can measure as far as speed and fluidity coming off of the edge in just that particular setting. So I don't think it necessarily hindered him too much that time, whereas if you look at the running back tandem from one season ago, Nate Noel, the speedster, checking in at 4.52. Again, the wiggle, the burst, the ability to execute in a zone run scheme, that style, that's going to behoove him as he too tries to work his way into the professional ranks. But Marcus Carroll did no favors for himself with that 4.80 mark. Again, 18 different guys were working out. It was a nice thing to see as well, with the former Tiger alumni on hand to support. Darius Robinson, Cody Schrader, who's there seemingly all the time. On campus, though, at the practice facility, cheering on their old teammates and just showcasing a lot of pride for the program at large, which is precisely what Eli Drinkwitz wants, what he advocates, and what we saw actually as well as just a day later, the Tigers concluded their spring camp for 2025. It's going to be almost radio silence, quite frankly, for the next few months until you get to August, until you get to the next set of practices in anticipation of that regular season opener at Faurot Field against Central Arkansas. So are we going to learn anything about this would-be quarterback battle in the making? Bo Perbula, Sam Horn, the latter, is he more healthy now? Can he actually give Perbula a run for QB1 honors. We're not going to find out any of that information over the next couple of months. We're not going to get that intel. So just strap it in for a little bit, Tigers fans, and wait patiently if you can. You're waiting patiently as well for different pro days to wrap up across the nation later this week. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, the Ohio State University, the defending national champion Buckeyes, are going to be holding court in Columbus later in the week. Navy, Notre Dame, among those wrapping it up. You have Florida as well. I, though, am once again going to swing it around to Boulder, Colorado, because if you tuned into our presentation last week on 101ESPN.com and the 101 ESPN YouTube channel, I had promised something in the way of tangible results from Shedeur Sanders at the Big 12 Cumulative Pro Day, right at the Star in the Lone Star State. Well, that did not come to pass. Not for Shedeur Sanders, not for Travis Hunter. Instead, next Friday, April the 4th, but of course, the University of Colorado is going to be holding its own pro day. It is going to be a celebration. This is really clever, okay, on the part of Deion Sanders, who's been making waves, who's been generating headlines nonstop for his take on a potential spring game opponent, and now setting up this showcase for both of his sons, as well as 14 other individuals who played last year and starred at the University of Colorado. At that point in time, allegedly, we are finally going to see some throwing action from Shedeur Sanders. A couple of days ago, it was Cam Ward in Miami, and this story just continues to swirl around along with the speculation. A couple of days ago, you had the comments, of course, pertaining to the New York Giants organization. Is that particular club smitten with Sanders? Is that going to be the case after the on-field workouts in Boulder next Friday? The Giants currently owning the number 3 pick in the draft. Definitely you have the Browns, you have the Titans locked in at 1 and 2, but will we ultimately see, despite it being a relatively weak year overall for the QBs relative to past seasons, Ward and Sanders, 2 guys at minimum going in the top 5. It'll be something to monitor. You can be sure that we will be doing exactly that as we wind along here toward the conclusion of the spring and into the summer on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel, as well as 101ESPN.com. I am Bradford Bruns. My guys, Marty Jenkins and Alvin Reed, they'll be alongside in the months to come. We are going to maintain a regular presence for you here in studio in Creve Coeur, because college football, it is that all-together season that just keeps on giving. Stay with us on the YouTube channel. As always, listen to 101 ESPN as well. And until next time, take care. We'll catch you later.
Thanks for listening to the College Football Connection podcast on 101 ESPN.